There actually is water in southern Arizona. Now this is the San Pedro River. Right now it just looks like a stream. The San Pedro River actually flows pretty much year-round. Sometimes it's a lot thinner than this and it's really just a trickle. And at other times it literally is full from the top across to the height of that bank right there. In fact, the river is sometimes powerful enough to be washing away parts of the ruins of Charleston. It's really nice to see water in the desert like this until you have to cross it and your damn boot has a giant hole in it. Oh well, that's just part of the deal. This is why that cemetery is there. That's a part of an adobe wall. This is part of a building which is part of the town of Charleston, Arizona. As you can see, it's right on the edge of the river, about ready to fall in, as is a bunch of what was left of the town, although there's more of it back behind it. That said, it's pretty fascinating when we get to those graves to realize the people that are in the ground right now used to walk by or even be in that building at one point back in our past. So, puts things in perspective, doesn't it? It's someday your house may look like that. Talked about this in a previous video, but this is one of the locations that in World War II troops from Fort Huachuca did cliff scaling training right here, preparing for invasions. You can see it's kind of a perfect location for that, actually. Now's the part where I have to go down this to go that way. Alright, I can't video this, but I'll splice it in just to show you guys what I'm dealing with here. Ravine, and here we go. If you can find these ravines, use them. It's a lot better than going through that brush. At least you're not getting cut up. Well, here's what the terrain, well, not even the terrain, just the brush is like out here. This stuff is called crucifixion thorn. It is nasty. Best use of VTech gloves ever. Backhand this stuff out of the way. This stuff will tear you up, guys. Walkthrough of the very hard to find Charleston Cemetery. This is beyond forgotten. There's a couple iron cribs left. That was a grave at one point. Some more graves there. It looks like piles of rocks, but that's what that is. That was probably a children's grave. Another grave there. Know that there's about 20 people actually buried here, as I understand it. A number of kids that drowned in the San Pedro River nearby. Some prominent families, for example, we're going to come up to some graves up here that matter more in terms of who they are, where you can identify them. There's some ruins there of a wooden crib. They would frequently decorate graves in the 1800s by putting some sort of crib around them. If you had more money, you would use iron, like we just saw. This one was wood, and as you can tell, it is not intact anymore. This wood's been here since 1880 something. This would have been right here, a grave somewhere around here. These are two of the major posts. Cross bits right there, you can see by the white paint that's still listed, essentially still on that wood right now. That was probably a cross, actually. Not much left of it. More of the crib itself, totally in ruins. And then this here is the Howell grave. Howell was the grandfather of John Slaughter's wife. John Slaughter was a prominent sheriff and rancher in the Tombstone area, southeast Arizona. His ranch is still intact as a historical monument. It's absolutely beautiful and worth visiting. And this grave is related to him. As you can see, they had money. Money meant you could make a grave like this. This wrought iron work was expensive at the time. This was not cheap. So if you could afford it, you would do it. This used to have a prominent headstone in it made out of marble. As I understand it, the headstone was stolen in the 1960s and showed up at a garage sale. I don't know if anyone was ever prosecuted for it, but the headstone never made it back. There was another grave there. This is where the headstone used to be for Mr. Howell. Damn shame. Here's another cross bit left right there. More cross bits right there and bits of crib. That's about it. This is beyond hard to find, guys. This took me hours of bushwhacking and effort and research. But not a lot of video to show you, but it's an interesting spot, and I just wanted to share that with you. Thanks for watching.